Welcome back to Mcoc AlBundyRules. I have 7.2.2 walkthrough right here for y'all. Showing a quick look at my team. I'll explain my team selection in a moment. So this is Book 2, Act 2, Chapter 7, Quest 2. Woo-wee. Alright, going to show you a quick little easy path. Power Shield, always fun to only damage through specials. Life Transfer, my favorite node in the game probably. I take Dagon, Degeneration, but I get 125% life steal back from damage I do. They activate a special. The attacker is healed with a heal block. I got to be careful. 5-second heal block after their special, and then reduce on debuffs of how much I can heal if I take any debuffs non-damaging. So I got to be careful about non-damaging debuffs. I absolutely have to be careful about to remember not to launch a special within 5 seconds of their special. That's something I tend to forget sometimes, and that's the new combination. So I'm looking at most likely taking the Magneto House of X, or Magneto Now, or White Magneto, or that guy. Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at him, but one of my ones I plan on using to clear the path is who I'm planning on primarily using for the boss, Psylocke, so I might change my mind depending on how some certain things go. And you're probably surprised to even see Psylocke in my team at all, especially talking about using her for a boss. But if you're not used to watching too much of my channel, then that will surprise you. If you do and watch my videos and familiar with my channel, that won't surprise you at all. But anyway, let's start things going off. So I took really a main primary 3 mutant team to get me through the path is my main goal. Guardian is just kind of my Swiss Army knife. I would love having him on my team if nothing else, block proficiency, but he can just get through almost anything. And then I'm looking at the rest through here, but I'm going to be starting off with Black Widow Deadly Origin. Mainly all I have to do here is do hits. Primarily I'm going to do 5-hit combos in order to get my power up. Hopefully I'll have power before I get too low on health, so I can go ahead and launch my special. There we go, and I re-heal back up to 100%. The main thing I have to remember is when I am baiting specials, I need to make sure I had to wait at least 5 seconds. You see that armor break and heal block after her special, so I would not heal. If I was to launch a special there, I would not heal. And the chances are that I might be KO before I get enough to get another special. So if I make a mistake there, it will be very detrimental. Take heavy note of that, okay? So in the meantime, I'm just wrapping up. I saw some DOT advantage there, so I took advantage with the heavy to get that bleed. And that's that nice easy breezy fight, and I've already got my Apocalypse ramped up. So now I'm going to go to the next fight, Longshot again, making sure up top, life shield, all that good stuff. Longshot's actually, despite he's been out for a little bit, I'm not overly familiar with him. I fought him here and there, but not too much. I don't pay much attention always. Additionally, I just pulled him a few days ago, but I haven't used him yet. I have no ISO, never have any ISO, so I haven't been able to even level him up, let alone rank him up. So, do a little bit. So, normally I'd be a little user champ I'm a little more familiar with than someone I haven't used a lot, and I'm very familiar with Psylocke, but I'm not sure overly familiar with how his karma and stuff works. But I went ahead and activated a Horseman. That's why one reason too I'm looking at using her for the boss, because there was a prowess need on that fight, and I got an automatic prowess with that pre-fight. I should have gained a bar of power there. Normally when I bring the defender down under a bar cap, I get a whole bar, and I plan on just being able to spam S1s, but it did not work. So it's either a glitch or there's something on Longshot's karma that I'm not understanding, but I was unable to gain the whole bar of power that I should have. I ended up with 0 when I should have ended up with 1. So I'm not sure if that was a glitch or not, or if I just did something wrong. I've also should have been able to permanent power lock him by now, which I haven't. So that might be one of his abilities. Again, I'm not too familiar with them. Sometimes fighting defenders you're not familiar with using yourselves, you might overlook something, and I'm thinking that might be the case. But anyways, I'm going to try again to try to permanent power lock him, because once I get permanent power lock, the fight's as good as over. In the meantime, I'm overthinking things. Got hit by the end of that, doing bad on damage. So did the S1, so I see no power. He should be permanent power locked. He's not, so it's leading me to believe, yeah, and I guess there's something that keeps them from being power locked, unfortunately, is my best guess at this point in time. So I have to look at contingency plans. Right now I'm going to keep focusing on mostly being the S1 because that's a pretty simple one other than the fact I took a good hit from it. Thankfully with these good lifesteal nodes, they're very forgiving. You make a silly mistake, you just heal back up nice and simple. So try it again. Again, guarantee that should have been a power lock. It wasn't, so okay, I got to give up on the power lock now. Otherwise, it's going to be a long fight. It's not going to happen. I do not fully know why. If you're watching this, you're welcome to comment in there if there's something in the karma or in his abilities that's preventing him from getting power locked or preventing me from gaining a bar of power when I knock him down. Because people criticize Psylocke's power rate all the time. They don't realize she actually has some of the best, most reliable power gaining in the game when used correctly. But it is not working in this fight. So, oh well, I guess it's not so reliable after all. Anyway, so went ahead. I'm going to start focusing on S2s because I can get some good damage with S2s. If I could get a power log 0 power, I would get more damage because I get rewarded for that with the synergy I have. But even without it, I'm still going to do some pretty good special 2 damage. So that is going to be my new focus. I have to adapt and overcome. Got well over 100,000 on that S2 between the 2 hits, so that is nice. I'm thinking if I could get up to 1 more S2, that should be enough to end this fight. So I'm going to that good karma stuff. I do need to read up on Longshot. So 36 plus 24. I guess I was not quite enough to get it. Just barely missed what I needed to finish that fight. Unfortunately, the other one didn't crit. If I had him at 0 bars, the power probably would have crit, but that's okay. I'm a little annoyed I haven't been able to fight him the way I want, but that's what I get for not always properly researching champ ability. So anyways, the S1 finish is not as pretty as I would have liked, but hey, it doesn't always got to be pretty, does it? As long as we get it done. Getting it done is what matters. So, alright. So let's get to the next fight. Let's go into Miles. I was debating with myself about bringing Emma and or Cable for this fight. Emma because she has that nice ability to not miss strikes when she's on telepath. She also has prowess, which will make her very good for the final boss Magneto fight. But when all was said and done, I decided to bring Cable, mainly because Cable is one of the guys I'm looking at as my next R3 along with Psylocke. They're very strong contenders. I know both those names might surprise some people, but if they surprise you, probably don't watch my channel much. I don't always go by conventional rank ups or by lists or tiers. I do what I like. I do who I enjoy. So I'm kind of testing them out. But Emma and Gambit are also on the list of champs I'm looking at as my next R3. Have all the resources, just checking out this content, and I'm going to do that R3 very soon. I just want to see how the 7-2 looked as far as the meta of the game before I did any R3s prematurely and regretted it. But really it's between 4 champs I'm looking at my next mutant R3. Cable, simply this parry heavy as we're seeing here. Even on someone who doesn't take damage through basics, is still taking all that degeneration damage. Then I'll just do specials to re-heal back up. In the meantime, Psylocke, although I gave her a horrible representation in the Longshot fight, I'll make up for it later. And or, I got plenty of videos on her if you're not familiar with her, love using her. And then Gambit I enjoy, Emma too. They're all ones I'm looking at as my next R3 6-star. I have a dupe Domino 2 at R2, but I've already decided and deemed that she will not be my next R3. I have no more intentions of ranking her up. I just don't enjoy her anymore at all. In fact, she was on my recent list of top champs I don't enjoy using. So, let us move on. Blah, 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 as I state, yada, yada, yada. Double checking I stay on the same path. Make it easy on you all watching, so I'm not rotating between paths. And I'm going to move on over to Phoenix next. Phoenix. So, here, I want to redeem my poor judgment in the first fight I used her on and use Psylocke again, see how things go. So my strategy here is get a permanent power lock. There's 2 things I could do. I could keep rotating on the S1s without worrying about recoil based on the free health, or I can just get a power lock. I'm just going to do the power lock because that just makes the fight over and done pretty much. So all I have to do is bait out this S2 now. I have to get my S1, As far as I'm concerned, the fight's over at this point. As long as I don't do something stupid. Normally I'll play Psylocke a little more aggressive. I'll kind of backdraft, intercept, kind of Magic style. She has the same kind of style and fighting abilities as Magic to kind of corner them and go to town on them. And most of the time I'll fight her like that to minimize parry damage, stuff like that. Right now there's no point. I can parry block all day, every day, and I can just go back to full health on demand. So I'm just going to keep the power lock. I'm going to play kind of conventionally safe, go to S2s, do my S2s, go back to full health. Got some massive damage, like 150k there on that S2. And just play simple. So Phoenix doesn't have a chance at this stage unless I just make some silly mistake. If I try to play a little aggressive, get a little fancy, things could change. I want to try to avoid that. I got slow S1, so I want to try to time it. I'm hoping the timing works. Look at that flawless timing. Went through. I was a little nervous that last hit might miss based on when that SIG ability of Phoenix, but I timed it perfectly and easy breezy. Alright, so that's what I'm talking about, Psylocke. And even that wasn't the best representation of her, but shows you, yeah, she can compete. She can do some business. Let's go back to Apocalypse now. Oh, I didn't even mean to reference that. How was that fun? Alright, nice little unintentional movie reference. I love those little slips that work out for fun. So, got Apocalypse fighting. I decided to use him mainly because of my Trinity, one of my favorite trinities these days, by the way, Apocalypse, Psylocke, and Cable, which might surprise and confuse some. Try it out, watch my videos. It's a fun trinity, let me tell you. Anyway, so, but of those three for my path clearers, he is the one that I would be less worried about losing. I really don't want to lose my others at this stage before the Medusa fight. So, again, simple stuff. Build up my power. Then I launched the S1, again trying to remember not to try to heal after their special because I won't heal. Sometimes I get going on the fight and I forget about things like that in the heal blocks on those nodes. I think that's the first time Kabam kind of mixed those nodes together, which is kind of a smart combination on them. I'm going to make forgetful people like me forget that kind of stuff. So, being kind of careful, I'm kind of take a step back on that S1 on his S1 because sometimes it's kind of clunky. I'll kind of get clipped sometimes. S2 super easy. I can dex that all day, every day, hanging upside down while singing karaoke practically. But S2 occasionally I mess that one on up. And if I'm taking some block damage here, I don't care at all. I'd rather not risk parrying, getting bad habits, and miss something on this and get punished by him because one mistake like that can end the fight. I'd rather just take some block damage than risk parrying and stuff like that because I can go back to 100% health on demand when I get that power bar. And now I'm just trying to get this fight over and done with, and I was hoping that S1 would do it, but it did not. That's okay. I can get another bar of power pretty dang quickly, kind of avoid this dude, smack him around, punch, kick, special, pow, 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 and that's what I wanted. So far this path is easy breezy. Practically runs itself, doesn't it? I ain't doing nothing fancy. Simple play, but all my champs are pretty much full health, but I spoke too soon because that's usually when I start making silly mistakes. I'm looking again, making sure I stay on the same path for your convenience. Don't want to jump around if possible. Going down to Medusa. I got to be careful because the timing can mess up. If she starts getting her little things going on, her three furies going on at the wrong timing, it can throw me off if I need to heal immediately. So I got to be careful. This timing on this fight is going to be a little bit different than the other fights because of those strands, those living strands. So the auto block, when that living strands go, I usually like to do a medium followed by a quick glide and dash back. That way I can get the living strands off is what I usually try to do without getting punished. If you stand there and try to do more, you're going to get punished. But I'm looking at, I need a heal, but I did it too soon. Still on heal block. I forgot. I knew I was going to do that at some point. Silly, stupid mistake. I should be at 100% health right now. Instead, I cannot get back up to a special one in time, and I'm going to KO. So what happened there? 5 seconds after their special, I am on heal block and armor break. So what happened was I did not wait 5 seconds. I waited like 2 or 1, did it, and I did not heal. By the time I could get back to the bar of power to heal, I was KO. So a stupid, silly, over-eager mistake I made there. All I had to do was wait 2 seconds, and Psylocke will be probably wrapping up this fight pretty soon. And it would have been good because I would have been a power lock after that. The fight would have been over. Unfortunately, and now I got auto block. I'm just playing really, really bad. I just kind of missed that. I had I'm having bad time and bad plan. I knew I was playing a little too good, and now I'm just, wow, that was just an ugly fight. All right. Silly heal block mistake on Psylocke, just straight up messiness on Cable. But we don't always got to be pretty. Too pretty is just not always fun to watch, because how many people play perfect, you know? How many people do this flawless victory, never taking a hit play? Unrealistic. Makes us all feel bad about ourselves. Let's make a few mistakes, right? As long as, well, another mistake. I need to stop making mistakes at some point. At least that one didn't punish me too bad as I did that special into the block. But let's just know we can still overcome them. One mistake isn't going to be the end of it. Another mistake, but that's okay. You know what? We got our favorite node in the game going on right now. We got live transfer, so I can make mistakes. I'll ignore my 2 KOs this fight already and say, look at that. I just went from 10% back to 100, okay? So that's good. That's good. Now let's regain. I got a little flustered after that first mistake on heal block. Psylocke clearly followed me on over to the next fight with Cable in the beginning of this fight, but now I got my groove going back on. I'm grooving, I'm relaxing, letting Medusa just flip her hair in the air. What was that old Willow song? Hey, I flip my hair back and forth. Yeah, that could be Medusa's theme song right there. Flip my hair in the air. Anyway, whatever. As if I know that words. So back in Apocalypse is doing good. He is making up for my earlier mistakes on this fight. Get some little DOT action going on as I kind of want to get this S2 out. I do have to ensure I finish this fight with Apocalypse. Otherwise, I'm leaving myself no wiggle room for any mistakes on the boss. And you never know what happens there. I had a plan for the boss fight, but my plan is kind of messed up after I jacked up my Psylocke heal block fight. Messed up there, was going smooth before that. So that's over. Path is over. Get my little 1-star chest. Whoop whoop. Go on to the boss node now. So I'm thinking this Magneto was my initial choice. I'm looking while the iron is hot. Struck back against prowess. Need a prowess increasing their damage. Max 10 stacks. I get prowess. A special connoisseur. Defender 90%. I need prowess, so a prowess attacker is necessary. I was going to use Psylocke with that pre-fight ability, but that's not going to happen now unless I use a revive, which isn't going to happen. Unblockable. And so I'm thinking hard. So there's 2 champs I really would want for this. I need somebody with prowess. The top 2 ones that come to mind are Emma and Magneto Red, because they're both super easy prowess to get, and I'm going to need prowess for that fight. But I'm also thinking, do I still want to do that fight? My initial plan was Psylocke with her Horseman of Apocalypse, prowess, power lock, and just go to town on that fight. I'm not doing that anymore since I accidentally got her KO because I made a dumb mistake. So I am swapping out Magneto. I decided to go with Magneto over Emma for prowess, but now I'm thinking, you know what? Why? I'll fight him next time. Let me look at Guardian stuff. Aggressive armor, do not disturb, true strike, avoids that, heavy-handed. Power shield, basic attacks don't do damage, specials 400 health. You know what? Why am I going to make it harder on myself when I already lost my plan A? Sure, I got a contingency plan, but you know what? Let's turn my contingency plan into a plan A for a different boss. Alright? Yeah, since we can pick the bosses now. So I'm just going to do what I do. Magneto does what he does. So double checking the nodes, power shields, so the specials do not disturb. Nothing out of the ordinary I'm going to be worried about. I'm not even going to really pay too much attention to that because I got Magneto. Guardian is #metal. Magneto against hashtag metal equals just brain simple, numbing easiness as it goes. As long as I don't make any silly mistakes, which we all know by now, I'll make them at times, so you never know, maybe I'll make one here. As long as I don't make any silly mistakes, it's going to be super easy. I'm just going to work on my prowess while trying not to get any mistakes. I usually try to bait out his S1s and Guardians. They're usually pretty easy to evade and dex. I kind of made a mistake a moment ago, but I took no damage from blocking, so I'm not even that worried about that now. So even taking some block damage from an S1 did nothing to me. So if I take some blocks, I'm not worried. I'm seeing it's not going to do much. Work up to the S3. Now I need to get my prowess up. Normally when I use Magneto, depending on the fight, I'm going to decide, do I want to do an S2 to an S3 in high health pools. In 7-2-1, I was able to knock it out with really pretty much one S3. So I'm thinking I'm just going to do an S3, see what happens. If that doesn't do enough, I could do another S3. I was going to do an S2 and S3, but not. So I got my prowess up, got a lot of prowess, 40-ish prowess or something like that. Already forgot. And get that, I got 25 bleeds going on, shrapnel bleeds, doing 3,700 damage over per tick. As soon as those bleeds finish up, I'm going to get some nice extra damage of 185,000. Nice, nice, nice. So that got Guardian down to 53%. So now I know with one more S3 that should end the fight, or at least make it within an S1 appropriate to finish it off. So I'm just going to get my power back up. I might do some extra hits in there here and there in order to get my power up as I start working on prowess. Then as I get close to S3, I am going to charge them. Want to make sure I have lots of prowess before I do an S3, because I'm hoping my next S3 will be my last attack, or at least last need of the fight. But I'll probably be ready to do an S1 after, just in case. Better be ready than sorry, right? Alright, I see Guardian doing some little crazy weird stuff over there again. Normally I'll work on Dex and S1, but I'm not taking damage from it, so why am I going to risk making a mistake? I'm still at 91%, 90% health, although I got myself cornered. Need to get my prowess up before the S3, 13. Double that to 26. 27, let's double it again, up to 38. Or not quite a double, but close enough based on how that system works. And boom. So I'm thinking this should be enough, but I got to wait for the bleed to do its work. So I'm going to kind of stall, do some damage while I'm waiting. I'm seeing 4,100 per tick with 28 bleeds. I had less prowess, but more bleeds. That's a nice ratio. Right around, boom, 208,000 damage is extra damage on that shrapnel. Boom, 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 down goes the Guardian. So Magneto made that fight super duper simple, as you know what he normally does, doesn't he, on those metal? A little too easy. Easy breezy cheesy. So good to go. Wrapping that up, as 7.2.1 is already in the books. Now 7.2.2 is in the books. Hope you enjoyed. Keep in mind, I got a playlist for Act 7.2 stuff coming out. Walkthroughs, boss, cheeses, tutorials, blah, blah, blah. You name it, I'll have it there. So be sure to subscribe. Be sure to turn notifications on so you get it quick and easy. Let me do the work for you, make it simpler for you. Don't forget to subscribe. Mcoc, AlBundyRules. Thanks for watching.